What's up guys, my name is Cade. Today I'm going to go over my top 10 images from the first part of 2024. So I went on a few trips before going abroad in the second half of 2024, and I'm just going to round up kind of my best 10 images, talk a little bit about them, and just show you guys in my first YouTube video. So yeah, let's take a look. The first set is going to come from Santa Barbara actually. They're going to be from Gibraltar Rock. There's two photos that I want to show you guys. They're both taken from the same location actually. One is from the day, one is the night. This first one here, I love it because it has a nice lens flare coming through. It has good layering from like kind of a defocused, blurry background, and then it comes in all the way to a very focused centerpiece of the Gibraltar Rock. And then we've got a couple subjects near the bottom, people watching someone climb, and then someone's on the face as well. Don't know if you can see it in there, but there's someone there. And then the next one here, we have the same location, like I said, Gibraltar Rock, but it's at night. So this photo is super cool because it has a super natural look to it, even though it was shot at night. The settings I used, it was a 10-second exposure. I shot it at f2.8, 1250 ISO. But yeah, I just really love how natural the sky looks in the photo. I didn't replace it or anything. It's straight out of camera. Just used some light editing in Photoshop and Lightroom. And then yeah, you can see the climber on the wall as well, more highlighted with the red headlamp. So that's what you can see at the top of the rock there. So yeah, moving on. Probably one of my best photo trips that I went on was a hike to Half Dome. This was with my dad, my brother, and his friend Nathan. The conditions were pretty crazy because it ended up raining at the top, hailing on our way down, so we didn't actually go to the summit of Half Dome, but I got some great images on the way up and the way down. So yeah, let's take a look. For that first one I'm going to be showing you, it's at the Vernal Falls, which is on your way up along the Mist Trail. So this one is a picture of my dad. I asked him to go pose out here. This wasn't like a natural candid photo, but I had him stand right in front of the waterfall. I love how his silhouette has just enough detail to tell a bit about the scene, but the brighter parts of the image remain a great focal point as well. It was partly cloudy on our way up to the top, creating some dynamic lighting in the shadows on the grass. So I really like that kind of beam of light that's kind of like slashing through the image. It just kind of adds a bit more of a dynamic to it. And the next one here is actually also from the falls, and it was on our way down. It was sunnier, and we had a rainbow, but not in the sky. It was like in the valley. So that was a pretty unique phenomenon that I hadn't really seen before. So we were able to capture it. I had my brother kind of stand in front of the waterfall. That same framing I thought looked good. And then, yeah, so you just get the nice harsh sunlight on his face, creates that like glow, and then the dark background really separates the subject from the background, making this image stand out, I think. The next one here, I'm shooting into the sun, down the canyon, and it's of my dad. He's got his hiking poles, he's got his backpack with the shell on just because it was raining a lot. And then you can see all the kind of the mist in the top right corner coming through the sunlight. Yeah, I just love how it's kind of a leading line of the path, you know, circling down, and then you can kind of see down the canyon a little bit with the water as well. But yeah, I just think the dynamic and the framing in this photo complements itself really well. And finally, this is one of my favorite photos I've taken throughout the whole year, honestly. On our drive home after our hike, I was super tired. We were all super tired, but my dad, he's like, yo, like look, the Half Dome, like it's really popping right now. Over the valley, there's a little bit of mist in the valley. I was like, no, like I'm tired, like let's just keep going. But he's like, no, let's stop. I just want to get a photo with my phone. I was like, all right, I'll get my camera out. So we get my camera out, and we're meeting with this scene. And it's just a magnificent view of the valley, slightly after sunset. You get a nice like double subject. You got the tree in the foreground. You got Half Dome perfectly visible in the background. A little bit of like vignetting clouds on the side, so it's like darker on the edge, it's brighter in the middle. It just came together. I didn't have to edit it very much. I added a little bit of brightness to the Half Dome itself just so it popped a little bit more than the foreground of the tree. But yeah, the mood of this shot is just awesome. And it's a time of day that I don't normally photograph, like right after sunset when all the colors are a lot more dampened and dark. I just feel like it's harder to bring out like contrast and color, which is what I like to photograph a lot. But this one totally kind of did the work for me. So I was happy my dad stopped me for this amazing shot. Next up, we're going to Alaska. So my family went on a cruise with my grandparents. We got to do some really cool hikes in the Alaskan wilderness. We actually got super lucky as well with the weather. We were able to see the top of Denali, which is pretty rare. It's the highest mountain in the US, I think, maybe even North America. So yeah, this first photo here, we'll just jump right into it, is a great example of why I love to bring a telephoto lens to any landscape shoot. Here I shot it at 110 millimeters, which is relatively zoomed in, more than your standard zoom, like a 24-70. It just really compresses the layers of the foreground, then you got the midground with the subject, and then an amazing backdrop of the mountains, and then a partly cloudy day. So you get that nice separation and layers that I just think complement any landscape photo, and it just makes your photos look more professional, because it's something that a phone can't often achieve because it doesn't have a longer optical zoom. This effect is just something that I think looks really professional, and it looks really nice in landscape photos. So this is why this one stands out to me. Then moving on here, we did a hike in Mount Healy, which is in the Denali National Park in Alaska. This photo stands out to me for a couple reasons. Firstly, yeah, the conditions were insane. So we have like that nice partly cloudy sky, like the textured clouds, which provide just a great backdrop to put a subject in front of. So that's why I had my brother climb up these rocks so he could be against the sky instead of against the foreground, where it would be way harder to see him. Yeah, so you just get that, you get a nice like backlit, almost side lit, so you can see like the path that he would take up. And then I also added a little bit of color in the bottom left-hand corner here. I just picked a little wildflower, held it up next to the lens, and then you just get that nice bokeh around the side there. And I think that color just complements kind of like the foreground of like the yellow grass that we got here. And it also was covering up some like distracting buildings that were like you could see in the valley. So I just think this looks better than having something like that in the photo. So I think this one turned out really well as well. All right, the last couple that we're gonna look over was from climbing a glacier in Alaska. This was a super cool experience where we hiked up to a glacier that is melting. It's like, it's going away. We saw where it used to be, where it is today, but there's still enough to climb on it. So we got like ice picks, we had like crampons for our shoes, and we're able to basically stab the ice and climb a glacier, which is super cool. So this photo here is of my mom. I'm down below her in the like canyon or crevasse or whatever we want to call it. And I think it turned out really well because of this nice natural gradient. This dark blue ice is more towards the bottom, and then it's obviously brighter, the sun's coming from the top, and so your eyes just drawn like up the photo, like towards where the subject is, which is exactly what you want the viewer to see, is like the subject. And then I think the other thing that adds a lot to this photo is the leading lines that I placed around the subject. So I used my top rope that I was connected to shoot like in between those two ropes and place the subject right in the middle. So I was able to like frame it and just like lead your eyes like right to the top of the photo where it's the brightest. So I think the balance and symmetry in this photo is pretty good. And lastly, here we've got a photo from above of my dad. He's climbing up, doing the same thing, same canyon. And then we got that same nice blue gradient of the ice. And then the coolest part about this photo, I think, is the action that you can see of the ice kind of exploding off the wall when he's driving his spike in. So I think this is another like just great timing, a little bit of luck to get like those big ice chunks just like exploding out near his face. So I think that really adds to the photo and tells a little bit more of a story of like what's going on, what the subject is doing. So yeah, that is all of the photos that I have for you guys today. Let me know what your favorite is down in the comments below. I'm gonna be making another video with my top 10 favorite photos from the second half of the year. I have way more photos. I went to study abroad in Prague and traveled around Europe, so I have a lot more photos to look through and pick out some favorites. So stay tuned for some more updates, but until then, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.